Ladies and gentlemen, the Shadman logs have leaked. Now, I say this very lightly. It's an interesting situation that we're dealing with. For anyone out of the loop, Ava Kris Tyson is one of mrbeast's best friends, an OG of the mrbeast crew, and was recently exposed for having a really strange friendship that involved flirtatious conversations and borderline some pretty nasty conversations with a 14-year-old boy. And Ava Kris Tyson also purchased and supported a very, very controversial artist named Shadman, who would draw pictures of minor characters doing some pretty disgusting things. And a lot of these minors included real people, such as Lieutenant Corbus, Daphne Keene, who was Laura from the Logan movie, and also Keemstar's daughter, who was 8 years old. Now, this would cause, Keemstar at the time to get pretty rightfully upset that people would, or someone would draw his daughter in a very disgusting way, and it involved her doing some type of mouth action to the former president Donald Trump. Again, this was artwork, thankfully. But after all of this started to come out again with the Ava Kris Tyson situation, it caused Keemstar to open up about how this situation made him feel and how the internet back then was such a different time, and everyone, hated Keemstar for their own reasons, and so they supported Shadman, and they considered, his artwork free speech and the right to, have creative control. And also, he used to draw these same characters in like uniforms that you would see in 1940s Germany. That guy with the mustache. We beat them in the war, luckily, but it was a pretty horrific time that millions of people were ended. He used to draw characters like that, and I don't see a lot of people bring that up. So this guy named Critical Shogun would make this image called the Shadman Logs, and you can see Shadman is up here. Again, like I mentioned, the 1940s German uniforms. That's literally what this character is wearing. He's wearing like a SS, 1940s. You can even see the little red from the armband with that really evil logo. But regardless of that, you have this pin board. It's kind of like something you'd see on like a detective crime scene board, right? There's Ricky Berwick, Elvis the Alien, Kris Tyson, and then Anisa Jomha. Now, these are all content creators. Anisa Jomha is iDubbbz's wife. Ricky Berwick is like that one content creator. You often see him doing funny things on Twitter. He kind of has like handicapped. Elvis the Alien was a commentary channel back in like 2016, 17, 18. Very popular back then. He still makes content once in a while. And then Ava Kris Tyson, mrbeast's friend. He would update it. He would add this guy. And then he would update it again and add a few more characters like Belle Delphine. So there are a lot of, people questioning, what is this list? Why are these people here? We all know what happened with Ava Kris Tyson, and so, things started getting around. Words started getting around. This guy, Cope and C, the YouTube on Twitter, put together a thread, a very large thread of all of the creators who had interactions with Shadman. I'm not going to scroll too far because I just saw a pretty disgusting screenshot. But, Cope and C made this nice little thread of all the people who've had interactions with Shadman. It's going to be linked below. And all of the conversations, all of the situations. And I'll take this with a grain of salt, because there are some very bad interactions, and then there are some where it's like, oh, this person liked a post, or this person complimented their art. I think there's a huge difference. I think simply saying like, wow, your art's pretty good is a lot different than, buying Shadman's art, or constantly going back and forth and DMing and being friends with Shadman. You can compliment someone even though they might be a terrible human being or have done some terrible things, right? Either way, a person on Reddit by the name of Interesting Pop 5728 would make a nice little text list of all the people, which is a lot easier if you don't want to see like the nasty images and the nasty text. You know, certain people like to read things, and we have a humongous list of all these people: Dolan Dark, Sky Williams, Seathe, Oni, Psychic Pebbles, Elvis the Alien, Ricky Berwick, Chris Rat, Thaf9, Sir Pillow, Anisa Jomha, Joby the Hong, Paperbat VG, Rusty Cage, Shoe on Head, Who's Chaos, The Amazing Atheist, Gale, Pimpmaster Broda, Mick Lawyer, Jessica Negri, Belle Delphine, Too Mad, and then some NSFW artists. Again, this is not me or this creator saying that these people are anything like Kris Tyson. They're not creeps. They're not predators. These are just people who have gotten, involved in Shadman in some way, shape, or form. So again, take it with a grain of salt. Do your own research. Go look at the threads and I guess make your own assumptions on these people. Anyways, Keemstar would end up reposting this saying, tip of the iceberg. It was the thread I just showed you. And just as early as today at 9 a.m., Keemstar would post, finally, after 8 long years, the creators that supported the cartoon inappropriate artist that drew my 8-year-old daughter in a inappropriate manner are getting called out by the internet. Thank you. I knew justice would come one day. At the time of 2016, the only creator that went out of their way to call this out was Colossal is Crazy. He used to be a commentary channel guy back then. I think he retired, but every once in a while people tease that he's going to come back any day now. I want to thank him again. So many of these creators that supported the inappropriate cartoon artist, Shadman will say today, at the time everyone liked Shadman. That was the edgy humor back then. That's what Ricky Berwick said when he got called out, so I guess this is context to that. The statements are false. Drawing kids in an inappropriate manner was not the humor of 2016. Also, it wasn't every creator supporting him. Most did not engage with him or this topic because it was so wrong and disgusting. If it was everyone, then we would have screenshot proof of way more creators. Please pay attention to the creators that actually did support him, because these people should be under a microscope, just like Kris Tyson has been. And I think Keemstar has a point. The worst person just made a great point. I don't really care for Keem. He is controversial in his own regard, but he makes a really good point here. The same people who are coming out to call Kris Tyson, a creep, and are like, oh, well, screw the conversations. Yeah, the person that Kris Tyson swept up with the broom might not have been talked to inappropriately, but they did still buy artwork of a minor from Shadman. Some of these same people are now being called out and put into this list. And if we're going to go all the way back to 2017, 2018, 2019 and see Kris Tyson purchased art and had conversations with Shadman, it's only fair that we do the same for these other creators, which is again why I say with a grain of salt, look at it yourself and decide whether you think, simply complimenting someone's art or saying that they have the right to have a website, that's what happened with Elvis the Alien, is the same as, buying and supporting their artwork, encouraging them to make even more of this artwork of real people, Now, I guess here's the time where I throw my own hat into the ring, because there's one character that I haven't seen anyone mention, and it's Susu_JPG. She's a very popular streamer. She's quite known because she has an interesting amount of assets to show off in many of her videos, and a few clips of hers have gone viral, but she hangs out with people like, Ms. Kiff and Maru, all these very top popular streamers. Her name is Susu_JPG, but she used to go by an alias type of model name, Swimsuit Succubus. As you can see, this account was retired in 2019, but she did this all the way in 2015, which of course is around that Shadman time, right? So we're going to go on over to Reddit. This is going to be censored. Susu cosplayed as one of Shadman's characters named Creepy Susie, which makes sense. Her name's Susu. And you can see there's posters of Shadman's art on the back, right? Susu's also cosplayed as many other, minor characters like Maven from Hotel Transylvania, Wednesday from the Addams Family. So, I don't know. I don't want to make any conclusions, but something's off. Now, I find this very interesting because this has somehow been swept under the rug. Susu's entire past as the Swimsuit Succubus has kind of been just forgotten about, which is kind of crazy because it's a very controversial time of this person's life. They used to date a streamer named BunnyAyu, who is currently a ASMR content creator, and they had this weird falling out where Susu tried to accuse her of being, manipulatively abusive and all kinds of other things. I'm not going to get too far into that, but this relationship was very interesting because they would do cosplays as like Violet and Helen, which are obviously mother and daughter of Incredibles, and they were very, lustful when doing these cosplays. And there are screenshots that are still up of BunnyAyu, who was, Susu's ex-girlfriend, approving and even saying that people should make more, Lolipop and the male equivalent of a Lolipop art. So yeah, this is one of the situations I want to throw my own hat into. We're seeing a lot of these things come out where people are like, yeah, this person complimented an artwork, this person bought their artwork. But then we have people like, Susu and BunnyAyu engaging in this type of content creation, and then Bunny even going out to defend this type of artwork, and still be on her platform today. Both of them still have very large platforms. I guess I'll stop right here. I don't support the cancellation of people, but I say if you do want to start looking into people who have controversial pasts, there's a character right there who has retired an old account in 2019 and deleted all of the old tweets after having a history with very controversial topics and people like Shadman. That's all I'm going to say. That's all for today's video, guys. I didn't want to spend too much time going into like every single person and every single screenshot because this video would be like 19 hours long. As always, it's going to be linked below. Go check it out. Go make your own assumptions, but at the end of the day, don't attack any of these people. Don't harass them. Don't accuse them of anything. Do research. Find things. If you think something, raises a red flag, talk to people about it. Build a little Google Doc, make your own video about it, because 2024 is the year of calling out people like this. Dr. Disrespect, Kris Tyson, all the people on this list. It's a strange time to be a minor, okay? Sorry, bad time for a joke, but thank you for watching. See you around. Like and subscribe. Peace out.